Hey everybody, it's Beth. Today I'm using this pinwheel and fabric, both from Dollar Tree. I start by pulling out the wires of each of the petals, and then I'm painting each petal with mineral colored chalk paint, and that's by Waverly. Now, some of you might ask, why am I painting them if I'm covering it with fabric anyway? You'll be able to see through the fabric, those bright colors, so that's why I painted it, and I just picked a neutral color. I cut the fabric a little bit larger than each petal, applied Mod Podge to one side of the petal, and then placed down the fabric, smoothing it out with my hands at first, and then I used my heat tool to make sure that was fully adhered and that Mod Podge was dry. I then used my detailing scissors to cut away all of the excess fabric. Next, I'm applying tacky glue to the edge of the petal. I just do it in sections. Once I have a little bit on there, I take twine, and I'm going to be placing that where I put down the tacky glue. Just pushing that down, and then continuing that until I have the entire petal covered. Next, I'm cutting down the pole for the pinwheel, and I'm just using some industrial shears to cut that. I give it a quick sanding, and then I am hot gluing some twine to the bottom so it'll fit inside this wheel I'll be using from Hobby Lobby. I just cover it maybe half an inch up from the bottom, hot gluing it as I go, and then cutting off the excess. I then add some hot glue inside the wheel and place down the pole. I then paint the entire thing except for the front where the petals were with truffle chalk paint by Waverly. I just gave that one coat. I then take a piece of twine and I tie it in a knot and cut off the excess. I then take the rest of the twine and wrap it around that knot in a flat circle. And I just get it as big as I can, and then hot glue it to this cardboard circle I had cut out. And to get it onto the rest of the cardboard, I apply tacky glue around that circle and then just keep wrapping that twine around until I have it the size I want. And then cut off the excess twine and use my heating tool to dry the tacky glue, and then cut off the excess cardboard. Next, I arrange the petals into the shape that I want. And then after I have them in place, I add some hot glue to the center and then place down that twine circle. And then add some hot glue underneath the petals where they meet to make sure that it all stays together. I then take another cardboard circle and I paint one side of that as well as the edges with that truffle color chalk paint and hot glue that to the back just so it looks more finished. I then hot glue the pole from the pinwheel to the back of that cardboard, and then hot glue the wheel to a large wood slice just so it will stand upright. And that is it for this project. Thank you so much for watching.